For all the hypervigilance of New Yorkers at the slightest possibility of terrorism, they embrace anything that could be construed as modern art. That's why no one reported a man constructing a strong wooden cross on the High Line that afternoon, next to a section that overlooked the Hudson River to the west. He was young and good-looking with an easy smile, his Mediterranean skin burnished by the late sun. He caught the attention of female joggers as they ran past, noting his strong, muscular arms as he sawed the wooden planks. There was a handwritten sign on a cardboard rectangle propped up near his workbench, "Performance Art in Progress." That was all the passers-by needed to know, answering any questions that came to mind about his actions. Later that day, as workers began to stream out of the local offices on the commute home, an older man stopped for a moment. He looked down at the rough wood as the man fixed the crosspiece, banging in long nails to hold the planks together. "You've got that wrong, you know," the man said. "All evidence suggests that the cross Christ died upon would have been more like a T-shape." The carpenter paused a moment. "The emphasis of this particular piece is more about emotional resonance than historical truth." He had a slight French accent, but in this city of diversity that was not markedly unusual. The older man nodded slowly, rubbing his fingers across his beard before he moved on, just another walker enjoying the evening sun. The High Line was a disused railway track, raised above the streets of Lower West Side Manhattan and transformed into a boulevard of wild grasses, flower beds, and wooden seating, where bees buzzed and birds sang in the heart of the city. The views out across the city landscape and the wide river made it a tourist draw, as well as a haunt for local runners and walkers, desperate for a moment of peace above the throng. There were places on the High Line where nature had reclaimed a little corner of the metropolis, and those who craved escape came here to temporarily relieve the itch of the city. Buskers played along these sections, the sound of a jazz saxophone easing the evening into night, and still the carpenter worked on, building a base to hold the cross steady when he raised it into the sky. When that was done, he fixed pieces of rubber tire onto the cross at jaunty angles, the black material lending an urban grittiness to the simple wooden frame, a dark foil for the sunset. As the night grew darker and the bars began to fill up below the High Line, street food vendors set up stalls to cater to those who wanted dinner with their nature walk. Far more convenient than the wilderness any day, and just a stroll from Midtown. The carpenter bought a taco and watched people as they passed. His sign on the ground had gathered a few dollars over the day, perhaps a manifestation of guilt from the city elite for the artlessness of their own lives, briefly assuaged by paying another to be creative on their behalf, like doubting believers paying tithes on a Sunday. Several people had taken photos as he worked, and later those pictures would find their way into the papers. But the carpenter had no fear of discovery, for soon he would be heading back to the monastery, beyond the reach of the tentacles of this sinful city. He understood the necessity of what was to come, but he longed for peace and solitude. He looked at his watch. Only one more part of the structure remained to be built, a simple pulley mechanism that would help lift its weight so the cross could be drawn upright and seen from the city streets below. The carpenter turned back to his work, clearing his mind of the sounds of the sinners around him. When the relic was recovered, they would be screaming soon enough. After the final nail was hammered in, the carpenter sat in the dark, waiting, his breathing a calm meditation. As the clock neared 2 a.m., this area of the city was quieter. Most of the bars were closed, but of course, New York is the city that never sleeps. An audience could be guaranteed for their spectacle at any time.